Mission out!
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Fitzroy, and you are?
I'm Captain Keva Hackshaw.
Where are you originally from, sir?
So I'm from St Vincent. I was born in St Vincent.
Okay, could you be more specific where about in St Vincent you're from?
Okay, so I was born in Chateaubelair, but I've lived quite close to St Vincent. So I've lived about 6-7 places. Born in Chateaubelair. I grew up in Kingston, Canning Park, and Montrose. So very nomadic.
Right, right. So could you say, what was it like for you growing up in that community from a financial perspective?
So I was born in Chateaubelair. That's pretty lucky. I think I should say my parents are not well off, but comfortable. And school, I think my parents always impressed upon me the importance of education. So from that perspective, I was comfortable and I had a relatively good education. I think that helped me later on in life.
Okay, okay, I see.
At what age did you immigrate to the United Kingdom?
So I left in 2001, so I was 22 years old when I joined the army.
Okay, okay. So what was the process? Did you get recruited from over there, or you get recruited here in the UK?
No, I was recruited in St Vincent. I mean, I had no idea of ever joining the army. In fact, I didn't know what the British Army was. But as a recruitment drive, it came to St Vincent, and I just literally just turned up and did my assessment, passed it, and then here I am today.
So what was the process like?
So they arrived, we did a lot of the written assessments there, and then the physical assessments. What I found interesting was the written assessments were sort of perhaps more designed for expected a British educated person.
Okay.
So some of the things were a bit unusual, but nevertheless did all right.
Okay, okay. And when you get to the UK, what was the process for you to cement yourself in the army? What did you do?
So firstly I was a Royal Engineer. I joined as a fabricator, and then in basic training my roommate was a geotech, geographic technician.
Okay.
And that was a really good job and also a highly skilled job.
Okay.
I later transferred to that, and I did geo for about 15 years, and then I commissioned into the ETS.
Okay. How long were you in before you commissioned?
So I was about 17 years before I commissioned, not 15. 17 years before I commissioned. So I commissioned as an LE.
All right, right. I see. So, could you list a few units that you have served with?
So being geo at the time, I served with first of all 4th Engineer in Geographic, and we worked in divisional and an HQ. So with 12th Brigade, 1 UK Div, and comes to ID and operations, and 4th Engineer Regiment.
Okay, so where are you based currently?
So I'm currently in Cyprus, 55 AC in Cyprus.
Okay, and you're a captain?
Yes, I am.
What's your role on a day-to-day basis, sir?
So I'm a 2IC 55, so obviously delivery of education and leadership and development program for soldiers, and also as a general personal development for soldiers and out there skills as well.
When you first came here, can you remember what month was it when you came here?
You don't forget some things. I arrived in February the 11th, in fact, correction. I left on the 11th and landed on the 12th of February 2001.
Right. How did you deal with the weather here? As it relates to climatization, how did you deal with that?
Not well. I remember the first day, there was a bit of snow on the ground, quickly got, and I thought to myself, day off today, should the hardest thing was adapting to the cold, adapting to the weather.
Okay.
And being a Caribbean boy, I just liked, t-shirt, and understanding the layer process to keep warm. I found it difficult. So that was most difficult to the weather, adapting to the cold weather.
Okay.
I cope with it today, but I don't like it.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So in terms of the food, is it something that you expected when you get here? Like,
So it's fascinating. In Caribbean culture, it's all about flavors and spices.
yes.
UK spice is hot spice. So the Caribbean food is about, you've got to taste good. You've got to season that food properly, and for a long time. I dare say in the UK it's different. Marinade is not the same. So the food again took a while to adapt to. The dishes you're used to in St Vincent, you didn't get here. And also just the way you cook foods in terms of texture, something like steak. When you cook food in the Caribbean, it's cooked, it's well done. Adapting to sort of medium rare and rare took some time to get used to. So you're right, two things, cold and food were perhaps, hard to adjust to.
Okay, okay. I like the way you take us through the food. Do you like the cooking bit?
Do I like to cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm a Caribbean boy. I like to cook. We all can. Yeah, my mom taught me, my grandma taught me to cook at a young age.
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking. Yeah, I enjoy cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you get commissioned, sir, where did you get commissioned? Have you gone to Sandhurst or?
No, because I'm an LE,
Yeah.
we didn't go to Sandhurst, so we go through the early permission process back then, and it's changed slightly now. So you go through a filter process, so you need to meet the criteria. Once you've filtered, then there's another stage, it's a 3-stage process. You get interviewed by the Capt badge you want to join, by your local commander, and if you pass that filter, you go into the CAB, which is Commission Assessment Board, which is a 3-day process. And then I think we had maybe 24 people, and then 8 of us were selected.
Okay.
And then
Eight of you.
8 from 24. I think.
Oh, and this was your first stride.
No, that was my second time. Unfortunately, I didn't make it the first time. I knew I went wrong the first time, and it's one of these things. You have a 3-day process, and you can tell I knew I went wrong. I said to myself the second time, had I not commissioned, I would have been happy. So I knew from the first time that I hadn't given my best. I haven't given my all, And the second time, I was happy with my performance. I could have improved in a few areas. I think overall, I was happy with my performance the second time around. And I commissioned, so obviously it was good enough. But yes, it's about understanding sometimes, if you can see where you've gone wrong, you have to try it. And not to dwell on so much why you failed, just look at failure as a learning process. And that's why I took it. So it was successful for the second time around.
Okay. So looking back, do you think it would be much better for you to join as an officer if you had a chance then? Or?
So it's an interesting question. There's 3 of us now who are all from, 2 from St Vincent, 1 from Jamaica.
Yes.
We've all commissioned. Because we joined from St Vincent, we can join as officers. The army doesn't recruit, or didn't at that time.
Okay.
So will I born in the UK? Perhaps. It's one of those questions you never know. But I've always felt that I had, the ability to do it, and I've proven that to myself. That's one of those questions where you can say, if I was born here, perhaps, I might take a different route.
So what's the requirement?
So one of the things to being an officer, I believe, you have to be a resident for 5 years, or I've been in the UK for 5 years. So because I was recruited from St Vincent, I hadn't met that residential criteria, so I couldn't commission as an officer.
Okay. What about qualification?
Yes. So in terms of qualification for commission, yes, I would have met the qualification for commission in such a certificate.
Okay.
So I haven't searched much of regiments. In a geotech, we worked at div and brigades. So apart from 4th Engineer Regiment GEOGRAPHIC, which used to at the time was my regiment.
Yes.
I worked at 12 brigades, 1 UK armoured div, and in operations I worked in counter ID team. So I've never really worked at a regiment. I don't work at regimental level. Similarly again in the ETS, I don't work at regimental level. I work in the AC.
Oh, okay. And how many years have you done so far, sir?
Was it 21 years now.
21 years.
Yeah, time flies.
All right. And how many years left?
So I'm an IRC, so I've got 6 more years left. But someone said to me, when you don't enjoy, it's time to stop. And so far I'm still enjoying it. So
Okay,
I'll probably be
okay.
there for much longer.
So after the 6 years completed, are you gonna seek to
Yeah, so
serve further?
So the way it works, Russ, depends if you get your the type of commission you get. So part of it's down to my performance and the army decides. But yeah, at the moment I'm thinking I'll be here for a lot longer.
Okay, I see. What sort of encouragement you give to anybody who wishes to join the army?
I think the army is a really good place. I'll say definitely yes. And for me, when I joined the army, I didn't know what the army was. So I said, do your homework, understand what the army has to offer. There's a wide variety of things in the army. People think the army is like infantry, and that's what people portray the war fighting. But you can be from doctors to drivers, to combat engineers to carpenters to electricians. There's a lot of things you can do in the army. When I joined the army, I had A-levels. I now have 2 masters and working on my 3rd masters. No, correction, I have a bachelor's, a master's and working on my 2nd master's, and that's all through the army.
Wow.
So there's opportunities in the army. The opportunities are there, you just got to take them.
Okay, that's really good. I'm impressed. Those are massive achievements.
Yeah, yes. And that's one of the things the army does, it's about building people, and we say be the best. And some of it's down to you, but if you join the army, you potentially turn out to actually build as a person.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't know who you are, and it brings out a lot of talent and a lot of ability that you never knew you had. So yeah, it's an opportunity, I'll say. So definitely, take it with both hands.
What do you look to achieve now? What's the other step you're gonna take?
So my next step is major. As an early, I can get to a lieutenant colonel. But I think one thing, and the reason why we're here today for me, is not about myself, but it's a journey. And who do you take with you? I mean, I'm done past 2/3 of my army career. So I think one of the key things to me really now is the next generation, and how I see it as wherever I get to, the next generation should get beyond that. And I think that is something that is really important. And we talk about D&I in the army and in terms of representation. And I think it's how do we in the army today support those who join the army today to get to the next level. So I think that is the one thing we want to do, because we all come and go, but what's the legacy we leave?
True. Sorry, sir. As you mentioned about your qualification,
What area of studies were they?
So Geographic Information Science, and my bachelor's and my master's are in GIS. That's what I did before. And my 2nd master's and working now is in education and innovation.
Okay. So is it something you're looking to pursue after you left the army, or not thinking that far yet?
You always think about the future. I think I'll go back to GIS. It's technology. My strong points are technology. So I think GIS is something I'll go back to. It's really fascinating. It's a fascinating time to get into that. If you think of GPS, location, everything has a location. So I think when I leave the army, when that time comes, I'll move back into that world as well. So I find it really fascinating.
Okay. What is the biggest achievement right now for you? You could look back and say, I achieved since you joined the army. What's your biggest achievement?
That's a tough question. I would say perhaps the masters. And why the masters? My mother wanted me to go to university. I never went to university. And I think education, I said my parents impressed that with me. It's really important. And education is one of the reasons why I commissioned into the ETS. So I think the masters, because I wasn't driven to do it, as in fact it was all sort of my drive to do that thing. And there was a lot of work, and balancing that with a family was pretty difficult at times. So I'll say that thing. But I mean, you can equally get commissioning could be one. It's really hard to look back in a single thing and say, that is the accomplishment. And I think perhaps it's the things that build up to that moment. So yeah, I mean, even thinking about it now, I don't know if that is what I'll say maybe tomorrow, if that is my most noteworthy achievement, but there have been a few.
Okay. As it relates to benefits, all those studies that you've been through, how does the army contribute to those achievements?
Yeah, so currently now I'm in the ETS, Education Training Service, and one of the things we do, what I would call is developing people. And the army has something called whole life development, and it says that when you join the army, you start to prepare for life after the army. It doesn't mean that you're going to leave. It's about the skill. So my first bachelor's was free because of the work up, so that's true work, that was free. My master's, and contributed to that using something called enhanced learning credits.
Right.
But that again was part funded. My second master's that I'm yet to complete was paid for as a professional degree. So the army has contributed significantly to my education, and that's what we say back to earlier. People want to join the army, and there's a lot you can get from the army. So the army can play a key role in my education and my development.
Okay. So what would you say to persons who not sure if they want to join and they think they won't be entitled to certain things in the army? What would you say to those persons, whether male or female?
I would say, what do you want to do? Think about what do you want to be, and I guarantee you, more than likely, you can find something related to life in the army, and then do your homework, dig into it. Look at the army website and see what the jobs are. Find people who are in the army and talk to them, because the army is a job and also a way of life, and quite often it's hard to understand what the army is truly like unless you can speak to someone. So find someone who's in the army, have a conversation with them, and actually speak to more than one people.
Sir, what has this occasion today meant to you?
So today it's really important to me. I joined the army in 2001. It wasn't in 2021 I found about the British West Indies Regiment, and for me it's really important that we understand those that came before us and those that made a sacrifice.
Bob Marley.
So if you don't know where you're coming from, you know where you're going, and I think that's really important, because the army is all about legacy and history. There's no regiment, Capt badge, that don't look back to the history and recognise the importance of it and how it affected or influenced who they are today. And I think for us, who come from the Commonwealth, we haven't got that legacy, that history, and in a way, we've forgotten those that came before us. And today is about looking back and recognising the sacrifice made those that came before us. But most importantly, it's about how do we tell those stories going forward, and how do we build on their legacy. And it's really important that we recognise, you know, those who came before us, because without them we will not be here today. And I think when you join the army from the Commonwealth and you arrive, sometimes you think, this is my journey, this is me. It's not. You're following a path that's well trodden, and all you're simply doing is continuing the journey that our forefathers started. So that's what today means to me. It's about understanding where we are from, those that came before us, and then taking the torch and continuing forward into the future.
Right. So definitely, sir, you're a role model to a number of persons, whether from your local community, where you're originally from, or within the UK. So, that being said, I conclude our interview, sir.
No, thank you.
Well said. So I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you for your generosity, as in taking time out of your busy schedule to fit us in for this interview. Thanks so very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay.